Jamaica is a beautiful country. It's known for its amazing beaches, friendly people, flavorful food, incredible music, and the overall strength of people. It's a small country, but it has a huge impact. But there is a dark side to Jamaica that they don't tell you about. The tourism of Jamaica makes around 35% of its GDP. It generates just over $4 billion in tourism alone. And only 10% of the local residents are actually seeing that money. 80% of that leaves the country. And the workers of these resorts are earning $2 to $4 an hour. That makes their base pay around $100 a week. Barely enough to sustain themselves. A young man named Michael Downer, who recently did an interview on YouTube that I can link below, exposed the reality of tourism. He was an ex-butler for a very well-known resort named Sandals. In 8 years, he had one minor write-up, and that write-up was because he gave a fellow colleague a burger to eat because he had worked through his entire lunch shift. And then eventually he was let go because he stood up for his rights and all of the resort workers' rights without any reason. After that, he became blacklisted and he could no longer earn through tourism to make money for his family. Michael goes on to explain how many of these resort workers are not even living hand to mouth. They're literally living hand to chest because they can't even make enough to reach the mouth. They're not guaranteed work beyond 6 months, and their residence lasts as long as their contracts for the resorts do, which means they could be homeless within a 6-month span. Many of you are wondering, how did they get away with this? It's simple. It's the Jamaican government. Unlike Barbados, who implemented an Employers' Right Act that protects the workers of these resorts, the Jamaican government allows private employers to hire and fire at their discretion. There is no protection for these workers. And on top of everything else, the Jamaican government does not provide any type of welfare or support to its citizens. That means if you're out of work and you have nowhere to go, you literally have nothing. And unfortunately, as a worker, you can't say anything because you're afraid of losing your job and your home. And then what do? A lot of their paycheck is also designated toward their housing, which means they can't live the Jamaican way. They cannot own their homes. They cannot own their land. So why would anyone become a resort worker, right? Why would you become a resort worker? It's not out of choice. It's survival. As I mentioned, 35% of Jamaica's GDP comes from tourism. So a lot of the jobs are in tourism. It's a way out. It's a way for a better life. It's a way to feed families. This is not a choice. This is about survival. In Michael's eyes, he sees this as slavery 2.0. He goes on to say this modern day slavery is just a more palatable version because the exploitation still remains. So with no job security, no housing security, outdated labor laws, no welfare, no safety nets, Jamaicans held protests at 8 different resorts, and they were punished. But what these resorts fail to realize is tourism is not about the resort. It's about the people. The people are the ones who bring the culture. They bring the food. They bring the language. They bring the vibes. But these resorts are watering them down. They're diluting the food, diluting the language. They are trying to dilute and gentrify. These workers are trapped in a never-ending cycle where they feel like they have no place to go and nowhere to turn to. As a matter of fact, many of them are suffering in silence and just feel like they should be grateful to have a job. They don't think that they're deserving of basic human rights. They don't think that they're deserving of workers' rights. But they are absolutely deserving of the most minimum rights as people. This is just how tourism works. This is about policy. This is about power dynamics. This is about a country that was promised its independence, yet somehow is still being exploited by colonization. A lot of these workers depend on tips. But unfortunately, these resorts have now turned around and pushed this no-tip policy. no tip culture, no tip environment. So workers can't ask for tips. They may still be able to receive them, but they're at the mercy of the guests. And on top of being exploited by the government and by these resorts, they're also treated poorly by some of the guests. What some of you saw during Hurricane Melissa is very real, and it happens every single day. But unfortunately, these people feel like they can't say anything. They feel like they can't stand up for themselves because they are victims to the resort. So as a whole, what can we do? What can the diaspora do? What can foreigners do? What can tourists do? What can people who appreciate and love Jamaica do? We cannot abandon the resorts. We can't. We need to support the resort workers. So go to the resorts, but tip them fairly, treat them kindly. And also don't neglect the locals either. There are a lot of local tourist spots to go to, local restaurants, excursions, gift shops. I know that the resorts have peddled to you that it may be unsafe to leave, but it's not. The Jamaican people will treat you with kindness. They will treat you with respect. As long as you treat them well, they will treat you well. And they will take care of you. They will show you around. They will be excited to do so. And if Jamaica is on your bucket list, just remember that a lot of these people are going back to dire situations after having cleaned your room. And as Michael said, a lot of them have bitter situations. But they don't say anything to you. They keep respectful towards you. They remain kind to you. They share their culture with you. So the least you could do is be respectful, be kind, spread awareness, and stand up for them. Go and visit the local vendors. Go and visit the local restaurateurs. They'd love to see you. There are a lot of people that are still suffering from Hurricane Melissa. Over 2,000 jobs were lost. There are a lot of people still suffering from Hurricane Melissa. Over 2,000 jobs were lost. Many Jamaicans have a GoFundMe. Feel free to donate. But most importantly, I'd like to share Michael's organization, the National Hospitality Workers Union, NHWU. He offers tourist guides, but more importantly, he helps people of Jamaica to become better workers in hospitality. He wants to support their rights. He wants them to have rights. And let me tell you, the government don't like what he's saying. So we need to stand up for him, speak up for him, and speak for all of the workers that are suffering every single day because of the resorts and because of places like the UK and the US and other corporations who are taking advantage and exploiting the local residents of Jamaica. The culture shall not be diluted. We must hold on to its integrity, its legacy, its history. And that can only be done through the people. So next time you go to Jamaica, make sure that you tip well, you treat people with respect, you visit the locals, and you have a great time. But don't ever forget how the resorts treat their workers, and do your best to spread awareness and let people know the truth about the tourism of Jamaica.